Ah, yeah, there we go. That's good. All right, well, let's set a unicorn on fire.
For the longest time, we had a burning unicorn head was like the only thing on our website. The idea was to be provocative and to get people to think. For better or worse, what they started to think was that we didn't want big companies. Because in a lot of people's minds, what the unicorn meant was like $1 billion plus business. So we must hate big unicorn businesses. And we weren't trying to say, don't build big businesses, or we don't want to be a part of big businesses. What we were saying was, this whole culture we've built around this is just toxic. You know, the North Star of Indy really is like this vibrant world of startups, and not like Microsoft owning everything, or that, you know, 3 firms get to decide what the future looks like. I've tried to kind of use those same metaphors of like music, movies. You know, they get monochromatic really quickly, like they get very formulaic really quickly. And as a result, like you kind of lose a lot of art that could have been, you know, much more impactful, but it just didn't have any platform. People are always looking for like this magic playbook that's going to really unlock something that isn't obvious to them. But the reality is 80% of startup work is like very fundamental work. You know, I think we try to be the partner for them that gives them access to the resources, that gives them, you know, a partner that understands how they want to build, that values the way they want to build, that we kind of have our own community and network of other investors who we can bring along to help support them. That like there's no other agenda. Like we just want to see them win. You've come a long way from your little personal office.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
See you, man.
I could have continued to go out and tried to raise funding, but I realized that based on those early conversations that even if we raised funding, it probably wasn't going to be terms that we wanted. Constraint is the mother of all invention. If we're gonna build a company that ultimately can deliver cash flow, we better build that muscle in today rather than thinking, you know, we can always get there, we just gotta cut people or we'll always grow into it. Like, how many companies have not been able to grow into the projections of we'll be profitable when we hit X? Doesn't happen very often. Yeah, we peeled away all of the nice to haves and really just focused on what generates revenue, and we have a much better company because of it.
There are certain labels that I've come to embrace over time, like dad. You know, like I really dig that as a label. But investor, it's so loaded. VC, like at a certain level, that is really what it, you know, what I am. Like anything, entrepreneur is such a broad label, right? There's plenty of people who are just, you can just tell they're not into it. Like they're there to play the game, they're there to like get the money, and then they really don't care ultimately what the outcome is. You know, I think as I've been in the business now, you know, for as long as I have, you just get better at weeding those out more quickly and really focusing on the ones who you feel like really bring something unique, whether it's a technology, a perspective. And when you find those people, they change everything. I think the founders that I connect with are the same, you know, we share that same DNA of like having something you can't not do. Like you just can't not do it. You can't wake up every day and not do it. Because I think it like takes that level of energy to really bend the arc of anything. And if you don't have that, what are we doing? It's been a long, painful process birthing Indy. You know, we got to the place where it was like, okay, if we just did this with our own money, you know, if no one else cared, would we still do it? Yes. And from that baseline, it's like everything changed. And if we just focus on that person who values this independent path, let's be as flexible as possible. If they're a little later, let's figure out how to get them a bigger check or how to syndicate around with like-minded partners. If they want to do a traditional structure, let's just do a traditional structure. Let's not create these like new funky terms. If they value the funky terms in alternative structure, let's do that. The idea for me really distilled just to the core individual, what they're building, who they are, how they want to build it. And then everything else is secondary to support that. Push everything out of the way to be able to work with that founder, regardless of where they are.
What do you think of your dad's work? Do you understand it, care about it at all, or kind of whatever?
I think it's cool. I think how it's like kind of cool how like he can invest money to like make more money.
Yeah.
Damn,
That's the goal. That's,
let's just break it down.
That's the thing. Everything.